Department official. He was a foreign policy advisor during the 2008 presidential campaign to candidate Barack Obama. And here also is David Avella, Republican strategist and chairman of the political organization GOPAC. All right, guys, let's talk about the fact that with this cruise missile launch Thursday on Syria, on the chemical weapons, we've got, it seems, both the right and the left applauding. You've got Schumer and Pelosi and people who would never had a good thing to say. You've got McCain and Lindsey. What do you think, David, in terms of your perspective very quickly, the right thing to do?
Well, you hit the nail on the head. The mainstream of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party both support this. This should have happened a long time ago. Assad has been acting with impunity for 6+ years. This attack was very important. I have the view that it's going to change the dynamic in Syria. Assad now knows that he has to answer for his atrocities, for his crimes against humanity. The missile strikes were a measured response. They took out an airfield and some aircraft, the type of aircraft that were being used to do the chemical weapons strikes and to do other bombing strikes on the civilians in Syria. This is a real win for Trump, for the U.S., and for U.S. policy in the region. I fully support it. I've been writing since 2012 that we should have done it, and I'm really glad it happened.
Well, and you should. You know what? If Barack Obama hadn't sat on his tail on this one, we wouldn't be looking at 500,000 dead and 5 million displaced. But David Avella, what do you say to people like Ann Coulter and Nigel Farage, who, you know, were part of that, you know, nationalism, America first, you weren't going to get involved in these other wars? What do you think of their stance?
Their views are equally relevant, but ultimately the president has to make the decision about how best to carry forward on American principles. The America the world saw this last week is the America that it has known for most of the last century. That we are a country that is willing to stand up for humanitarian efforts. We're willing to help feed the hungry. We're willing to help spread democracy and capitalism. And that's what happened this week. But, Judge, you also have to think for a second that there was other messages sent there, and that the president called the president of China before he did it. And you wonder, did he say to the Chinese president, tell your friend in North Korea to watch the news tonight?
Well, I think he was having dinner with him at the time. That's why. But all right, let's move on from that. Now, Susan Rice, and if either of you heard my open, the woman, as far as I'm concerned, has lied about everything, but from Bo Bergdahl, you know, to Benghazi, to no, she knows nothing about unmasking, to yeah, I did unmask, but it wasn't for political purposes, and you know, a horrible position saying, you know, on Rwanda at 800,000 killed. You know, we don't want to get into this in the middle of an election. Do we now, since she was the one who said that the chemical weapons had been eliminated from Syria in her deal with the Russians, do we now have to worry about the deal with Tehran and nuclear weapons, given it's the Obama administration and Kerry who are also involved in the chemical weapons deal that obviously fell through? David, Tafuri.
Yes, we have to be worried about it.
So what I would say is that the Iran deal was not the best deal we could have struck at the time. And if the Trump administration wants to modify it and make it stronger, I encourage them to do that. We haven't heard any proposals yet for them to do that. We should be making sure that Iran is complying with the deal. And part of the problem with the deal is that while it forces Iran to give up its nuclear ambitions, it does nothing to prevent Iran from fomenting violence and supporting terrorism around the world and in the Middle East.
I don't have that much time. David Avella, I mean, you know, forgetting about what we need to do now, given the Obama administration's lack of truthfulness as it relates to Syria and chemical weapons, do we now have to worry about Tehran and the nuclear weapons deal?
Yes, absolutely we have to worry about this, and that's why it is good the president is taking forceful actions, making sure not only our allies but also our enemies know that we have a president ready to defend America. But let me go back to Susan Rice for just 1 second. We're going to history is going to show the Obama administration is not much more than an organized crime syndicate, and Susan Rice was Fredo in this operation. She's either incompetent or lying about all this, and whether it be the surveillance that she says she didn't do, whether it be chemical warfare, or chemicals, as you said, Judge, she's either lying or she's incompetent.
All right, David, you've got like 10 seconds at this point.
That's an outrageous statement that's not backed up by the facts. We need an independent counsel or a special commission for the Russian.
Let Tafuri finish.
Let me finish for a moment.
Go.
We need an independent counsel or a special commission to investigate this. They should investigate the ties between Russia and the Trump campaign. They can also investigate. They can also investigate what Susan Rice did. But so far, there are no facts for him to make that egregious,
the only
outrageous
ties are
statement.
Syria, Obama, and chemical weapons, and obviously it didn't work. David Avella, David Tafuri, thank you.
Thank you.